Hey guys, it's Amber and I'm getting ready to work on my day 30. So keeping it really simple, following another simple pattern that I've been kind of doing for some of these. I have a full page that I need to cover from the back of day 29. So I have this blow up of the water. This is like us kind of sailing through a cloud because you can't see the horizon at all. So I just put some font here from the Hiku inline, which is like a match that I found for the December daily font. Added some quick journaling. I have a couple photos here. I had trouble finding photos for this day. It was the last day. I must have had like some photography fatigue. I have a ton of pictures of food because we eat a lot and stuff that we did, but we saw like 2 shows, so I couldn't really take too many photos. We saw like a cabaret, we saw a concert. I had looked cute dressed up for dinner, picture of the 2 of us. Like other things that we did, you know, like we were doing trivia. I couldn't really get good photos from that. You know, breakfast, lunch. I didn't want to do all food photos. So that's what I've got. I'm going to do another one of these 9x12 page protectors where I will cut one of the rows off. I'm going to include this from the main kit. One of the 3x4 cards. I haven't quite figured out my embellishment here yet, but I've got my journaling printed out and ready to go on my matte sticker paper. One of my previous days, whichever day was my hot cocoa bomb day, I stitched around this a couple times in like a messy stitch, and it looked really cute. So I'm going to try to do that again. And I also included like a little wood veneer piece. So I dug through my travel stash and I found this one from Colorcast Designs. If you can't see it, it's like a compass. Her designs are fun because they have sticky paper on the back, but I think she stopped doing that now, and they're also like the thinnest wood veneer I've ever found. This one is another compass that I think might be Ellie's Studio, so I'm considering adding something like that on there. I've got my number 30, of course, my 4 photos, and then I'm thinking about, I've been trying to save this for something cool. I'm thinking about cutting out a 3x4 card with it and using that as a background probably for my number, just as a way to pull in a third kind of tan color. It's not the same, obviously. They're totally different, but I kind of would go with the wood veneer a little, so because there's a creamy tan background here, this card, and then that. I thought would be kind of fun because I don't really have any other pattern paper that would match. I did consider doing a circle like I've done on a couple of the layouts that are featuring this design. I only have, I'll pull it out here, red hearts, which just didn't seem to match. Like I already have like a very light blue with dark purpley blues going on. So I have red hearts, which would pull from here, or this one's green. This says let your heart be light. So I don't think that would work. Potentially this would, but the number covers a lot of the hearts to be able to center it properly. So I think I'm going to stick with my star pocket idea instead. And I also looked through my travel transparent circles and none of them really worked. I did have one blue one that said about that the words were about packing, so that wasn't going to work. So I think I'm going to stick with that idea. And then I was also pulling out some of my remaining blue star chipboard pieces. This is from the nested star set. I've got the large one and then the smallest one. This is a paper die cut set from the star mini kit that was here. It's the only blue one I have left. And then I have a little wooden white star that I pulled out, and I might also mix in a couple gold puffy stars because of course to get it to coordinate. So I might put 1 or 2 around with those and maybe sprinkle a few on the right side to help them coordinate and tie it together. I was also considering these white patches with the gold stitching. I just don't love the gold thread that they chose to use this year. If it was more like this color, it would be so perfect, but it's just such a yellow tone. I did consider using one of these, but I've used those several times, and the only other chipboard piece from here I have is green, so I kind of wanted to use that blue one up, and I have this as well, but that doesn't really coordinate. So yeah, I think I pretty much have a design decision. I did pull out my wooden star stash in case I wanted to try to tie something wooden in over here for color, and that's kind of what I'm leaning towards the most. But I feel like if I do that, I will need 2 of them, and I don't necessarily, and this sounds funny, but I don't necessarily want to sacrifice 2 of my stars. So we'll see how I decide to tackle that. But like I have these white ones, which I think look awesome, but that doesn't help this side. So I gotta figure that out. But I'll leave these out for now in case I decide to change my mind. So for now, I'm gonna focus on the pocket page first, get this put down, get that stitched, and then I'll worry about embellishing and decorating everything else. So we'll see how it turns out. And I will see you at the end for another live look. Okay, so the first thing that I need to do is work on cutting down my page protector. Since it's only a 9x12, I can use my cutter there. Had to trim it twice just to get a nice even edge there because part of the 3rd row was showing. Then I wanted to go ahead and get the holes punched. So it's a little off camera, I'm sorry, but I'm using my power punch and my page template there to line up the holes and punch them out. I usually punch twice in varying directions because of the way the punch comes through. So now that that's ready to go, I'm going to attach my matte photo sticker paper there. I have that linked in all my Amazon supplies for you, as well as all my major tools. It is an affiliate link, but I don't make much money on it, but I'd appreciate it if you guys would support that. So once that's stuck down, I'm going to go ahead and do 3 rounds of stitching around the outside. I was going a little fast on the first one and it got a little wild, so I had to slow it down a bit. But it helped make it look nice and messy and uneven. For some reason it got a little loose, so I'm not sure if I bumped something when I was picking it up to carry it over or what. But it was the only version of this card I have, so there's not much I can do about it now. And it's not that noticeable. So I'm just getting that stitched and showing you a quick look there. And now I'm getting ready to disassemble this pocket. So I'm just going to cut along the seams. It's like 5.5 by 7.25 or something like that. So I can get like up to 2 4x6s out of it. So I'm trying to trim as close to like the edges where all the creases are as possible so that I can, you know, maybe use it for something else, or I might be able to incorporate another piece into my day 31. We'll see. But I'm cutting one piece down to a 3x4. And just seeing how I like that with the photos and the number. And I didn't even really rearrange anything. I pretty much just put it all down in this position. Kind of decided also right away to use the hexagon shaped compass because it's a little bit of a darker piece of wood. And I liked how that went with the craft paper. And now I'm just kind of laying out the stars in a little bit varying. I'm just kind of switching the bottom two so that the heavier bigger one is on the left, kind of gets your attention more. And I'm gonna start adding on one of the wooden stars just to help bring some more of that craft wood color over. Just playing with placement a little bit, trying to make some decisions on if there's any other wood ones that I want to use. And then I'm going to start getting out the gold puffy stickers. So I'm going to put one in the middle of my 30. I've really been enjoying doing that with all of my double numbers. I just think it looks really cute. And helps tie the numbers together and gives it something. And then I decided to pop up the blue die cut star with a tiny bit of foam tape there just to give it some dimension. I'm going to go ahead and peel and stick that hexagon down. And then start using my Gina K score tape adhesives to put all the stars down. So that one I put dead center, facing upright, and then I left the rest kind of turned a little bit to add a little bit of movement to the page. So here I'm using my 1/8 tape just to put in a few sections there to glue that down. And I'm going to use the same, but cut it in half so it's more like a 16th tape for those skinny little wooden pieces. It's mostly clear. You can see a tiny bit sticking out, but it's the best I could do. And I don't want to glue it with like a wet adhesive. So just getting all that stuck down. That one actually dropped on the floor, so I had to pick it up. So did consider playing with the white chipboard pieces on the left hand side,
but I'm going to forgo that and eventually put one on the right hand side. So I started to put one on the left, but I wasn't sure exactly where I wanted it to go, and I decided to leave that one for the last part. So I'm going to include one in the cluster on the bottom right, two in the top, and one more large one on the bottom left section. But at the time I wasn't sure if I wanted it to go at the top left or the bottom right of that star. So that's why I kind of waited to see what would look balanced with the rest of the stars. So I had to trim my photos a teeny bit to get them all to fit in the pockets one more time. And then I'm going to get them all inserted, of course, and get the number 30 with some score tape. I'm going to put that on the outside. And last thing I have to do is attach the two photos back to back, trim a little bit of the extras off of that one to make it 8 1/4, and repunch the holes. And I'll share that live look in just a moment.
Okay guys, I'm all finished. I'm happy with how it came out. Added this sprinkling of gold puffy stars, and I think that made it look nice and whimsical and a little busy, you know, because it was such a plain photo. I put the 30 on the outside of the page protector just from some texture kind of. And then I decided to go with this one, as you saw. I thought that the darker brown color helped go with the gold and the craft. And then I was trying to decide what else to add on here, and one little star here from this white chipboard star set from the 2020 December Daily Collection. That felt like just enough here to help tie the stars in and lead your eye all the way around the page. So I was happy with that. The stitching didn't come out as well as I hoped. For some reason the setting got messed up and it came out like really loose, but it's the only card I had, so I couldn't really redo it and just went with it. It's not really that noticeable, but overall pretty happy with how it came out. This will lead me to the back for day 31, where I will be telling our Christmas Day story with the kids because it was so delayed with the vacation. And I'm excited to jump back into reds and greens because there's been a lot of blue with the Caribbean and everything going on. So I'm excited to play with some of my favorite products. I'm going to be digging through my stash for my favorite products that I still haven't used yet and trying to work with them as best I can. And there was also a fun New Year's Eve printable, and I want to say maybe it was from the prep party, and it just says Happy New Year, so I'll be finishing with that as well. Not really necessarily telling a New Year's Eve story. I don't really have any good photos besides the, you know, the Christmas part of it. So excited to get started on that, and I'm glad that we are almost done with this project. I really loved it, but it's definitely been a labor of love trying to get it all finished. So thanks again for watching, and just a reminder, if you're not subscribed, be sure to do so. You'll be automatically notified when I post new content, when I get my day 31 layouts finished, and I'll be doing walkthroughs of both my albums so that you can see everything at one time, and hope you'll stick around for all that. Thanks so much.